The other day, I got a message saying, Kyle, bro, I've also got a Sony camera. However, when I film on it, the footage doesn't quite look like yours. And when I try and color grade the footage, the visuals just fall apart. It kind of looks like I'm filming on a potato. First of all, I understand where you're coming from because I've been in that same position before. It sucks. You spend all this money on an expensive cinema camera and the footage doesn't quite look like other content creators here on YouTube. And let me just tell you, it's not because of the camera. It's either the way you're setting it up or you're missing a few key fundamentals that are super important in attaining those beautiful, crisp visuals that you see online. On today's episode, I'm going to be showing you exactly how I set up my Sony camera, and I'll be giving you a few key fundamentals that will ensure that you are getting the best picture possible from your Sony camera. Let's go. First off, I go into the picture profile and I set it to slog3 sgamma3.cine. This combination gives you the most flexibility in post and takes full advantage of the internal recording of that 422 10-bit color. So if you're shooting in one of the default picture profiles or you are unsure which picture profile you are in, go to your camera and switch it over now. slog3 sgamma3.cine. I always shoot an XAVC-I 4K 422 all intra. And if you're wondering if I shoot in Sony RAW, the answer is no, absolutely not. I've heard far too many stories of how cumbersome and troublesome it is working with Sony RAW footage. And the internal recording of these Sony cameras is so good already. It's clean, detailed, I can really push and pull those colors, and it's easy to work with. I've signed out of ever even trying Sony RAW, at least for now. And if you're wondering about the other codecs of your Sony camera, like XAVC, just on its own, that is not going to give you very much data to work with in post-production. It's probably okay if you're doing a talking head and the camera's not really moving around much and there's not too much detail in the scene, but I don't even play with that. Even though the file sizes are a lot smaller with that codec, it's just not worth it at the end of the day. I always want to make sure that I'm delivering the highest quality footage to my clients. Next, let's talk exposure. I expose based on the exposure value meter that you see on your Sony screen. And when I'm filming in S-Log3, I always overexpose the image. I push that EV meter all the way to +2. Not when the +2 is flashing, but when it's solid. If the +2 is flashing, then you are overexposing too much. You're burning highlights, especially on skin. And that's really hard to fix later. But if you hit that sweet spot of just +2 solid, your shadows stay clean and your skin tones look far better and you get way more flexibility in post. Now, there are lots of commentators online that have different theories of how you should go about exposing your S-Log3 footage. This is my opinion. This is what has worked for me after lots of trial and error. These Sony cameras love light, so you've got to overexpose just a little. If you are one of those people that are filming on automatic white balance all the time, why are you doing that to yourself? If you have your white balance on your camera set to automatic, then whenever you point your camera in a different position, the color temperature is going to change. And when you get into color grading, for you to match up all of the shots that are in one particular scene is going to be an actual nightmare. So if you are doing that, please stop. Set your white balance manually. If you want to keep it really simple for yourself, if you're shooting outdoors, select the sun icon for daylight, 5600 Kelvin. If you are shooting inside and you've got warm tungsten light, set it to the default white balance of 3200 Kelvin for indoors. So if you can't be precise with your white balance, that's okay, but at least get as close as you can to the actual white balance as possible. Do not use automatic. Think about it. If you want the sensor of your camera to capture the best picture possible, then you've got to make sure that the lens, the tunnel that the visuals are passing through to get to your camera sensor is of decent quality. I just want to show you something quick. This is my first ever camera. This is the Canon T2i, and when I got this camera, it came with this lens. Now, aside from the fact that it is plastic and kind of clunky, the internals, the glass of these kit lenses is not very good. And while it was great to learn on, it didn't provide me with the best quality visuals. It's not clear, it's not sharp, And it's really going to handicap you if you are trying to get the best quality image out of your camera's sensor. I understand this, guys. Filming is so expensive. All of this gear, it gets a bit ridiculous sometimes. But as soon as you can, and you've saved up enough money, invest in just one solid zoom lens, like a 24-70 2.8 Sony lens. It covers your wide at 24 millimeters and goes all the way to telephoto 70 millimeters. As soon as you switch from a kit lens to a great quality zoom lens, you will see instant better results, guaranteed. Let's just hit a few basic settings that you've absolutely got to get right. And I'm going to do this in a quick fire way because I've already covered each of these topics in length on this YouTube channel. You always want to shoot at your camera's base ISO, then you know that you are definitely getting the very best dynamic range from your camera's sensor. You need to dial in your autofocus settings so that your subject stays sharp and consistent. These Sony cameras are known for having brilliant autofocus, but you've got to take the time to adjust your tracking sensitivity and focus speed depending on what type of shot you are doing. In that way, you can get the best out of the autofocus. To get that natural cinematic motion blur, you got to make sure that your shutter speed is double that of your frame rate. So for example, if you're filming at 24 frames per second, you want your shutter speed to be double that at 1/48. Now, if you don't know what ND filters are, there are a plethora of YouTube videos that talk about the necessity of having an ND filter. All I want to leave you with for this episode is that if you are going to buy filters, ND filters for your camera's lens, then make sure you buy a great quality one. I don't have any companies to kind of plug here, but what I will say to you is do your research, look at reviews, watch videos online, and make an educated decision. Because there's a difference between buying a great ND filter, which is crisp and sharp and detailed and just beautiful, and a cheap ND filter that gives you a color cast and affects the sharpness and detail of your image. It goes back to what my father always says to me, which is buy expensive, buy once, buy cheap, buy lots of times. If you want to get the best quality and get paid more for your jobs, then you got to provide the best that you can. It's one of those things where you just got to save up the money and invest in quality. And that's it, guys. I think it was super important that we covered these things in this episode because I feel like there are a few people that are missing out on these few key fundamentals. And I want you guys to be getting the best quality picture from your camera as possible, obviously. I mean, we're a team, we're a community here. So if you like this video, please can I ask you a huge favor? Give it a like, comment, and subscribe. That tells the YouTube algorithm that this video isn't, or my videos aren't too shitty, and it will help me in making more videos just like this. If you didn't enjoy this video, it's all good, no problem. Just bounce. Till next time. Cheers, guys.